Welcome back to the Secret Diaries, where we answer relationship advice that was asked on Reddit, where we tell stories about people on Reddit. Because here we just love some good, clean gossip without any judging. So let's get started with this podcast. Hello, my beautiful people. How are you guys doing today? I have some stories to share with you guys. Well, some questions to share with you guys on Reddit, which I thought were so crazy. So I'm going to give them my honest answers and opinions and advice, but I want you to do the same because I feel like everyone's perspective is just a little bit different, and I feel like we can all agree that this will help us all to see different perspectives. Okay, so let's get started with some of the first questions I found on Reddit. My voice hurts a little bit. It's still a little raspy. If you guys don't know, I went through this candida diet, and I don't know what it is about this diet, but it's affecting my throat. And today my throat is super itchy. But we're going to continue to do this because tomorrow I have an iron infusion, and then it's Friday, and this video goes up on Friday. So I literally have to do this today. We already posted our first official episode last week. So if you haven't seen that one, go ahead and go watch that one as well. We answered some juicy questions from Reddit, but today we're going to answer some more. So let's start with the first one. So the first one is a 39-year-old female writing about her 44-year-old boyfriend, okay? My 44 male boyfriend cheated on me, 39 female, and now wants me to have sex with another man to even things out. My boyfriend, 44, and I have been together for almost 5 years. I recently found out he cheated on me at the beginning of our relationship. He said he was in a loveless relationship when he met me. Wait, what? He was in a loveless relationship when he met me that he had been checked out of for several years and wanted to break up, but every time he tried to leave, she would cry and get upset and he would feel guilty and stay. Then he met me sort of accidentally at work and ended up pursuing me. Why do people always anyways, okay. I had no idea he was in a relationship. We became serious and he quickly fell for me, and apparently all the ways I was different from her and right for him. Told me he could see himself marrying me and kept asking to move in with me. I thought it was too soon and I kept putting it off. Well, it turns out he wanted to move in with me so early to leave her. He said he didn't want to get his own place because it would be suspicious why he didn't have all his own things, furniture, bed. Anyway, fast forward, he did eventually move in with me and broke it off with her when I agreed to let him move in. We have since been together for years, and I just recently found out about this. We broke up for several months. We have talked, and he agreed to go to therapy, and I was considering giving another chance and working on things, but something he said last night really disgusted me, to be honest. He said he wanted me to have sex with another man to even things out, so I wouldn't bring it up so I wouldn't bring up his infidelity during arguments or hold it over his head all the time. I told him that was fucked up and disgusting. Essentially, he's willing to give me up for another man for his own convenience so he doesn't have to take accountability for his actions. That's how I see it, almost like he's pimping me out. It sickened me that he doesn't care if I'm with another man. That's not love. I would think most men would do anything to have their woman not sleep with another man. But he's okay with it as long as it makes things easier on him. It's very selfish and makes me feel like he sees me as a piece of meat or something, not a human being he loves and respects. Not to mention, even if I did do that, it wouldn't even anything out, and it is a very toxic way of dealing with the situation. I'm not sure if feeling offended by this is an overreaction, though. I think it's wrong regardless, but I'm more looking for advice from men on if you would ever be able to suggest your girlfriend, wife do this. Okay, well, even though she's asking for advice from a guy, I'm going to give you my advice. And from the jump, this guy sounds hella sketchy because he was in a loveless relationship, but wouldn't get out of that relationship until he found someone where he was with like where he was able to move in, you know? Like he was not going to break up with this girl until he secured his next spot. To me, that is the most selfish thing. That is so messed up. And it just makes me mad even thinking about that. I feel like I wouldn't even let that go. Like, apart from him suggesting for you to have sex with another guy, I feel like I couldn't let that part go. Because, one, how did he hide it from you for 5 years? And then, how did you end up finding out about that? I don't know. I personally wouldn't be able to forgive that because my trust issues are like through the roof. And I feel like that is like trust issue number one. Like, if he did that to you, I mean, if he did that for you, he's going to do that to you. So, already to me, a red flag. And this man is 44 years old. So, that means that when you guys have been together for 5 years, you already met him at his ripe old age of like 39, which he was still doing immature things. So this man's head is just not on straight. And then not only that, now he wants you to have sex with another guy to make things even. But how is that going to make things even? I feel like that would never make things even. So I don't know, girl. I feel like there's too much here. I think maybe you should start clean and I don't know, figure things out differently, or maybe have him move out. And then if you guys want to try it, then maybe like have like a separate living space where like, no, I don't even know what to tell you, girl. I just feel like that's not love. You're not wrong for overreacting about this. And I don't know. I feel like you deserve better. You're 39 years old. It's time to start thinking about like being someone who really makes you happy, you know? There's a reason why you guys broke up because it seems like things were rocky already, and this just adds like two layers on top of that rockiness if you ask me. So, move on to the next. And obviously, it is so much easier to say to move on because it is so much easier to tell someone to move on than to actually do it. So I don't know. I feel like the only thing about these Reddit questions is like sometimes they don't give you like what happens next. Like, did you end up breaking up with them? Like, what ended up happening? Did you guys fix it? So many questions, but unfortunately, they cannot be answered. So we're going to move on to question number two. Okay, this one is about two 21-year-olds, a female and a male. And the question on top says, how to make our relationship more equal. Hi, all. I'll keep this as brief as possible. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 2.5 years and have lived together pretty much the whole time. We also have started working the same job where we are together for a whole shift. I'm starting to get so frustrated and angry because I feel like I'm doing 100% of everything while he does nothing to contribute to our relationship. Other relevant information. We live in a single room studio flat. I have ADHD and insomnia. Here's what happened in only the last 24 hours that made me flip. Mind you, these are 21-year-olds, right? He has no respect for my sleep. When he is up before me, he will be extremely loud. Hair dryer, shower, hoover, slamming drawers. I was up at 6:30 for work today, felt extremely ill, and tried to take a nap once I came home. He made me feel so guilty for this, saying he needed to be entertained. Then when I got up, he just kept saying, "It's useless, just go back to bed." He just doesn't let me sleep. He does 0% of the housework, literally zero. I tried to leave the dishes as long as possible to see if he would do them. When I looked today, there was literally mold growing on them. I binned the leftover moldy food and asked him to take the bin out because it's unsafe. And he said, maybe sometime tomorrow. I spent 15 minutes washing all the dishes and took the bins out myself. He didn't look up from his phone once and didn't even notice that I had left the flat. I am a full-time student and work 16 to 35 hours a week. He has just gone from part-time to full-time and does not attend uni. He sometimes lets me know that he has an issue with me not planning anything. I asked him if he wanted to come to my hometown with me. I haven't been home since last year, and he made a massive deal of it, saying it was greatly inconvenient for him, but doesn't want me to go alone. He does this every time I want to see my family. I asked him if he wanted to go to an event while in my hometown. He complained about money, valid, but when I told him we didn't need to pay until the end of the month, he suggested spending even more on another trip that only he wanted to go on. He massively downplays my ADHD. I tried explaining why I'm struggling so much, and he said it was all in my head and I just need to try harder. It took me 6 years to try to get my diagnoses, and I have never been more relieved. But he doesn't see me or my struggles at all. I just want some guidance on this situation. Every time I bring up an issue, it turns into a huge argument where I just end up apologizing the next day and he says nothing. I stopped asking him to do things or to improve because it's completely futile. Okay, they have been together for 2.5 years, and from my point of view, right, just from what I'm thinking, I feel like they probably split the bills half and half. So they're both paying like their share of the bills. Because if not, then I might be wrong. But I feel like I think that's what it is. So one, he has no respect for your sleep, which is so weird. I feel like someone that loves you respects your sleep because they don't want to like disrupt your peace. I like my husband, he gets up like way before me, and honestly, I don't even listen to him. Like I don't even hear him. That's crazy. Like he tries to not make any noise. So someone that's like trying to wake you up is so disrespectful, and I just can't imagine someone would do that. One way to combat this, I feel, because he might not know, like the hair dryer, the shower, I feel like those are things you just have to live with. Like if he's a morning shower, like he has to shower, and if he has to like blow dry his hair, then he has to blow dry his hair. Like that is not something that can be stopped. Now the slamming of drawers, that right there, I don't know. Like why slam drawers, That's so rude. I will say I am a very light sleeper, and I could hear things too, and I would always wake up. So what I ended up doing is I bought a sound machine. And if you don't have the budget for a sound machine, you can always use like the noises on your phone. Maybe if you have a speaker, put on the speaker and put like white noise. That has leveled up our sleeping 100%. Highly recommend that. Okay, with the 0% of housework, I feel like as a girl, as a woman, we are like, I don't know, like it's like a thing that's assumed with women, that women are supposed to take care of like all of the household responsibilities. And I feel like that happens in like, I don't know, 90% of the relationships where it's like the woman does. And if you have kids, it's even more crazy because like you have to take care of the kids, you have to cook, you have to clean, you have to wash the dishes, and some woman on top of that even work. And honestly, I don't even know how women do that. So, respect to the ones that are both stay at home moms and moms that are working, because y'all's jobs are like so hard. I can barely do my job as a stay at home wife. And I can't imagine just adding like a kid on top of that and having to like do a whole ass job outside of that. So, props to you guys. I feel like the housework thing has to be something that you guys have to communicate about. I feel like maybe at 21, you're not very good at like communicating, and that is one thing you have to really get really comfortable with, is expressing how you feel and communicating things that like make you upset. Like for example, have you talked to him about how much noise he's making in the morning? Because he might not realize it. But from the looks of how you're writing this, homeboy might have some issues with you. But yeah, like talk to him about that, saying like, hey, if I'm contributing half of the bills in this household, then like I would expect you to contribute half of the household chores. And maybe you guys can like split household chores into like a weekly thing where you guys like plan out who's going to do what. If you guys need to do that, then you guys need to do that. Like for me, for example, I do all of the cooking, the cleaning, whatever. But there are like some of those days, like especially right now, like I had been on my Candida diet for 30 days. The diet made me really, really fatigued, really like tired, like no energy. There were some days where my husband would come home and I didn't have food on the table, and I would tell him like, "Hey, I need you to step in today, like to cook, or you can just order some food." And he would step in and cook. So communication and someone that really loves you and like wants to be with you will definitely pick up your slack on the days where like you don't feel like doing it. So definitely have a conversation with him about this. And then his issue with you not planning stuff, honestly, I don't know if this is like feminism. I don't even know what you would call it. But I always expected the guy to plan stuff, and I also suffered from that. Like, I'm putting myself in his shoes, right? Because, like, I always expected my partner to plan stuff, and he never did. And that would make me really upset. So, I think he got mad because you were planning something for yourself. You were not planning something for the both of you, like a date night, like a movie night, a hiking day, whatever. Like you were planning something to do for yourself and you were asking him to come along. So I feel like that's not the same as like planning something for you guys. So maybe if you're trying to work on this, maybe try on planning like different activities for you guys that would be entertaining for both of you. Now, for your ADHD and the fact that he's not understanding it, to me, that right there, like overlooks all of the advice that I have just given, because if someone doesn't understand your diagnoses, for example, your ADHD, I personally don't live with someone that has ADHD, but from what I learned is that like you have to have a different kind of patience for people with ADHD, or like that for maybe for people on the spectrum, who knows. There's like different ways of like going about a relationship. I don't know. There's like you as a person have to compromise a little bit more with someone that has ADHD or autism. Let me know if I'm right or wrong, but I feel like you kind of have to guide the boat towards them. I don't know. So I feel like if he's not validating you and he's just downplaying it, this relationship is going to get so much harder as you guys keep living together. I always go to the extent because it's just what happens next, after you've been living with someone for so long, is that you have a kid. And then there's going to be even more difficulties later down the road when you guys do decide to get married and do decide to have kids, and he's still downplaying like your ADHD. What if you get depressed and he's like downplaying that? What if you're physically ill after like postpartum and he downplays that? I don't know. To me, that is like the biggest red flag a man could give me. And it is so scary to just think about the future with someone like him. So, yeah, I would say talk to him, communicate with him. You guys need to sit down and figure your shit out. Figure out if that is someone that you're really willing to spend the rest of your life with. Because, yes, you guys have been together for 2 years, but you guys are 22. You guys are so young and you have so much more to life that this could just be, one of your stories that just makes you stronger. So, good luck to both of you. I hope you guys fix your relationship. And if not, realize that maybe it's not worth staying in that relationship. And a lot of these like questions on Reddit, it's so funny because like people are kind of just like I feel like the reason why people are writing these is because they're like on the verge of leaving, but maybe they like want to make sure that they're not wrong. So I don't know. I feel like every time I answer a question, I'm like, leave that man, which it doesn't always have to be like that. But some of these are just so like, I don't know. I'm so happy to have a supportive husband because I don't know what I would do in these situations, honestly. Like, I did struggle with my relationship for a really long time. And yes, I did feel like giving up at a lot of times, but I'm like a stronger person for it. And I feel like we're both stronger people for it. And like, we came out of our like first years like completely different people. So it's also hard telling you like to move on when sometimes you can work through these things and you can go to therapy and you can try to fix yourself. But the first main the first main goal out of this is that you have to try, like both of you have to try to change. And if one of you is not willing to change, then that's when you know it might not be worth it. Okay, but let's go back to this one because I'm like, okay, what would you do in this instance? Because this was kind of crazy. It says, I, 27 female, found a long black hair in our bathtub that is not mine or my husband's, and he's 27 as well. What to do? Yesterday, I gave the bathroom a deep cleaning. Today, I was gone for half a day. When I came home and went to take a bath, I noticed a long black hair in the tub and I'm blonde. He has short hair. I've never had any reason to think he would cheat, but a few months ago, oh, and by the way, I just read the title. We're reading this together. We're finding this out. Okay. He has short hair. I have never had any reason to think he would cheat, but a few months ago, I had some suspicions that he was tracking my location without my knowing. He's very tech savvy, unlike me, and after some strange phone calls and other odd things that happened, I started to feel like I was being tracked. I made a comment about it and the strange things stopped happening. I kind of forgot about it, the whole incident, and decided to give him the full benefit of the doubt. But now the thoughts that are popping into my head are, what if he was and is tracking my location after all, so he could cheat? I've had paranoid spirals in the past, and I don't know if I'm blowing this way out of proportion or seeing something that's not there because my mind wanders too much. I haven't said anything to him yet because I don't want to stress him out over nothing. And again, until now, the thought has never once crossed my mind that he wouldn't be faithful. Is this concerning or am I being ridiculous? Okay, I'm gonna tell a quick story before I answer this because this has happened to me. And I went like full circle toxic for a bit. So one day I got in my husband's truck and I found a hair, and it was like this big, probably. And in my eyes, it was blonde. And in my head, I was just like, well, I'm not blonde. Like, who did you have in here? And like, I, even to this day, I feel like now I'm better. But I always had trust issues just because like past experiences. And it was like really hard for me to overcome that. And I cannot keep quiet. Like as soon as I saw it, like you can see it in my face. Like I cannot hide my emotions whatsoever. I've never been good at like holding things over. I've always been really good at like overreacting, causing a scene, being super toxic. And I like flipped. As soon as I saw that, I was like, what the hell is this? Whose whose blonde hair is here? Like, who did you have here that you didn't tell me about? I went full crazy. And the fact that he was like, no, like there's not been like a chick in my car. I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Like, why can't you just be honest with me? Why can't you just tell me the truth? Like, I was getting so irritated. Like, I'm like, I caught you red-handed and you still can't tell me the truth. Like, BFFR, right? And I was so pissed. I was like quiet the whole, I don't know where we were going, but I was like sitting in the truck, just like quiet, like fuming, Like I was red, I was hot. Sorry, my dogs are scared of thunder and they're about to start going crazy. I'm so sorry about that. I cannot help that. It's just gonna happen. So, okay, so back to my story. We were sitting in the car and he's like stressing out, like, whose hair could that be? I'm guessing, right? Like in his mind, he's like, what is it? What could it be? Like, what? And out of nowhere, he goes, like, wasn't Milo in the car yesterday? This guy right here. And I was like, yeah, what about it? And he's like, that looks like one of his hairs. And Milo has always had a very long tail. Right now it's short because we've cut it. But he's always had like a super long tail. And I was like, in my head, I was like, well, that's a possibility that it could be Milo's hair. But I didn't want to believe it. And I was just like, oh man, I felt so stupid after that. He's only scared because our other dog is scared. Like before we got Charlie, the other dog that you can't see that he's the one crying, he was never scared of anything. This would never have faced him. But now, like, we cuddle the other dog, we cuddle Charlie. Now this guy, he's like scared. But what are we gonna do? Okay, girl, but now let's go back to your story because I have a plan. And this might give toxic. I don't know. I don't care. Because a long black hair when you have blonde hair, well, are you fully blonde or like, is it like, do you have like a balayage or are you like fully blonde? Because the black hair might be like one of your brown hairs, right? Okay. This is what I would do. And call me crazy, but if your spidey senses are sensing, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, always trust your intuition because some things just don't add up, okay? You had just cleaned the shower. You would have seen that black hair. So what's the reason? So what I would do is I would tell him, right? Like, hey, I'm going to be gone for the day. I'm going to go have whatever you're doing, whatever your normal routine is, right? Wherever you're going. Like you said, today I was gone for half the day. You're going to go shopping or whatever. I would either, I guess maybe if he's tracking your phone, either, because is it your phone or your car? Because okay, this is what's going into my head. Grab one of your friends, tell her to meet you at this place where you were gonna go, and then you leave your car and your phone there, and you and your friend go back to your house and you pretend that you forgot something, right? Like if nothing's happening, you forgot something. Okay, because are you guys at an apartment? Because I'm like, if you're at a house, then you could see somebody at your house, right? But like if you're in an apartment, like you can't. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would just do it. Just like show up with my friend and show up to the house on that random day. And if he's like, what are you doing here? Just be like, oh, my friend, I don't know, like make up a lie, whatever excuse you think you can make up, just like, oh, my friend wanted to come in and use the restroom. We were together. And then if he's like, where's your phone? Then that's how you know he's tracking you, which red flag, because why is he tracking you without your permission? Excuse me, that is so suspicious. Because I understand whenever couples share each other's location, like I share my location with my best friend and my husband, but we are both sharing each other's locations. So if he asks like, well, where's your phone? Then you'll know that he's tracking you, which will spark up a red flag. And then if he just says, well, what are you doing here? Then just be like, oh, we came to get some stuff, blah, blah, blah. That's what I would do. Call me crazy. But if you're just, I don't know, it's just like that womanly intuition. Sometimes we just know. And then sometimes we're crazy. And then if it just happens to be that we're crazy, then we're just crazy. And I feel like if you're already having these suspicions about them cheating, like it's not gonna work. I I was so my last relationship before I got married, I had so many trust issues. Like it was the reason our relationship probably failed because I just couldn't trust him. And for good reason, because once we broke up, like he started dating someone that I don't know if he's still dating her, but that he dated for a long time after that. So probably says that they were talking before we broke up, you know? So always trust your intuition. Your intuition is almost never wrong. Man, I wish. I'm gonna try to go find that one again and see if she ended up writing anything in the comments because sometimes they will leave like a little update. Hopefully we get an update from that one because that one was so juicy. I really want to know what happened after that or what she ended up doing. I'm already thinking like that she went, like that she did what I said to do, but oh my gosh, I'm crazy. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Damn, this one's hard. Okay. I, 29-year-old female, am planning to leave my completely financially dependent and toxic partner of 34 years old male. How do I warn him that he needs to get it together? Oh my gosh, he is 34 years old and financially depending on you. That is crazy. And then on top of that, he's toxic. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get into this one. My partner and I moved out of our home state 4 years ago when I got a job. He has not had a job since, and I struggle significantly to get all the bills paid. He spends $100 or more a week on weed, which makes it more difficult, and I have to pay for everything. He complains about my cooking, but doesn't cook either, so we have to eat out often. He gets in very foul moods where he slams things, yells, calls me names, etc. At the beginning of April, I told him I don't want to be with him anymore. I also told him if he reacted aggressively to my feelings, I would plan to leave him without warning. He reacted aggressively by slamming things, and then I decided to work outside of the apartment because he was being so loud and I work from home. He found the cubicle where I was working in our building, barged in, got in my face, and called me a whore, among other things. When I made the comments in April, I promised myself that I would leave. I believe that part of the reason he reacts so negatively to me saying these things is it means he will lose access to housing, food, or car. He doesn't talk to his family. He doesn't have one close friend whose family he can maybe stay with, although I'm not sure. My partner will be out of town for a week or less this summer, and I plan to pack up and leave then. I don't know how to go about this and what I should say, if anything, given his previous reactions. My therapist connects me with a DV organization who is going to help me break my lease. I don't know how to go about telling him he needs to start taking action to support himself, given his reaction in the past. He will not know where I am going, however, he does know where my mom lives, and that kind of freaks me out. Okay, she did give an update here. I'm not gonna read it yet because I want to share my response and see if you guys would agree, and then we'll see what she ended up doing. So she's already tried to warn him, and obviously he's trying to like abuse her to make her scared of leaving, right? Like by slamming doors and calling her names, because it escalates so quick from like yelling to hitting to possibly doing other things. So I am glad that you are connected to a DV organization and that they're going to help you move to where he doesn't know where you're going. And the fact that you work from home, he's not going to be able to track you at your job. Now, it is scary that he does know where your mom lives. That would freak me out too. I don't know if there's a way that your mom could potentially put like a restraining order on him, or for you to put like a restraining order on him to not come close in contact to your mom's door, and advice to tell your mom to call the police the moment she sees this guy like pull into the driveway, to lock all the doors, like to make sure all the doors are closed, I don't know, and like to hide for safety or like figure out like an escape plan if this man tries to like come stalk your mom in some way. But no, I feel like you've given him many chances, and the fact that he's being toxic and abusive to you, and you're paying everything, and you're paying for his, blows my mind how ungrateful this guy is. And you just have to leave without a warning and get yourself to safety, because your safety is more important than giving this low life a warning. And I'm sorry that I'm saying low life. It just makes me so upset. And I'm so glad that you're wanting to do something about this, okay? So let's see what she ended up doing. Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up as much as it did. I will be leaving in July and will update this post. I plan to look at it whenever I start doubting myself. Thank you to everyone who gave such helpful responses. Also, things are generally amicable as long as I don't bring up breaking up. He can be cruel if I'm loud in the mornings and wake him up. But as of now, we are getting along okay since he doesn't know my plans. I've even been asking him if he needs help paying for his trip, and he does not suspect anything. I'm glad that he doesn't suspect anything, and I think he's being more amicable because he knows that this is already like in your head, and he like doesn't want to make you upset. So right now he's pretending to be this good guy, and whenever he feels like he has control again, he will go back to his crazy ways, girl. Do not doubt that. So for sure, get out of this relationship as soon as you can, and praying for you, girl. Hope that everything goes well. And yeah. And talk to your mom about not opening the door for him, or like making sure that she stays safe from this guy. And if she even sees his truck pass by, to call the police immediately, because uh, he just sounds like a toxic person that you don't want to be around with. And it is so scary. Like, it is so scary with being people like that, because you just never know their intentions or what they're willing to do. And to me, that is the scariest thing. I feel like even someone that you never suspected a thing of, like that was always nice to you, you just never know what they're capable of when they're hurting or they're angry. And to me, that is just the scariest thing ever. I always think about it because I'm always watching like the documentaries where like women go missing, and like 99% of the time, like it's always their husbands. It's kind of scary. But okay, we're gonna answer one more. Oh my gosh. We're gonna answer this one too. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this one. My 22, okay, so she's 22 and her boyfriend is 25. My boyfriend just asked if I was going to get fat like a whale because my body is going through hormonal changes. Is this enough to end the relationship? Trigger warning, talks of orthorexia and eating disorders. For context, my boyfriend and I have been dating for 1 month, but have known each other for 3. Girl, drop his ass. He is really a fit guy and cares a lot about his looks. He also was on a dating app for fit people before we met. As for me, I'm fit as well. I have been told I have a great body. I lift weights, run, bike, climb, play hockey, etc. But I have been through some eating issues and body image issues in the past. I'm 22 and have been noticing my body changing. My boobs have grown and I have stretch marks on my thighs. He has always said how great of a body I have, said that he wants me to dress flattering when we go out so people can tell he has a fit girlfriend. This always raised a flag for me, but whatever. He also knows I struggle with an eating disorder. I cried to him about it and he knows it gets bad when I start weighing my food. I'm finally becoming comfortable in my body and now he says this. Why are your boobs getting bigger? Because I'm going through second puberty, I guess. Like healthy, right? Like you're not about to spill over and get well. Like healthy, right? Like you're not about to spill over and get well. I have no idea. He says, I hope not. She says, "If I do, you can leave then if it bothers you, LOL." He said, "Thanks for the permission. Just kidding. I love you." This pissed me off. I'm usually a calm person and very understanding, but this rubbed the wrong way. I feel sick. I'm not sure I can recover from this. Is it stupid to break up over this? Any advice is welcome. Thank you for your reading. Uh, First of all, I don't think it's wrong to have a type. There are some people that like tall guys. There are some people that like short guys. There are some people that like blonde hair. There are some people that like brunettes. There are some people that like skinny girls. And there are some people that like fat girls. And I don't think having a type necessarily is a wrong thing. I think the issue starts, I think it starts becoming an issue when you start like calling people out of their names or degrading them in some way. I think what this shows you now is that like he does not want you to get bigger. And he's kind of told you his expectations. So realistically, like you have to figure out if this is something that you want to live with for the rest of your life. Like, for example, I know that there's skinny people that once they have a kid, without exercise or anything, it's just the way their body is, they go back to being skinny. Doesn't matter how they eat, it doesn't matter if they go to the gym or not, it's just their body just jumps back to being skinny. Then there's other people that have to work at it a little bit harder to lose the weight. And sometimes that's not priority, right? Because like you just had a baby. What you're trying to do is take care of your baby. You're not getting enough sleep. So the last thing you're doing is like thinking about going to the gym or like taking care of yourself. So you do end up starting to like gain some weight. And some people don't lose that weight. Some people will try later on, but some people won't. So what's going to happen if you are one of those people that gains weight after postpartum? Like, is he going to leave you then? Is he going to cheat on you? Is he just going to call you names and like make you even more depressed? You know, there's so many things that can happen after this. And to me, I feel like if a person truly loves you for who you are, they're not going to care that you gain a few pounds. And they're still going to love you the same. And they're still going to treat your body like a temple. And they're still going to tell you how sexy you look. And they're just going to make you feel comfortable in your body, even if you don't feel comfortable in your body. And that's the type of boyfriend that you should be looking for. So, so yeah, that would rub me the wrong way too. I, you already have a eating disorder. You don't need somebody in your life making it worse for you. So dump his ass and get you a boyfriend that understands your eating disorder and that would just not necessarily help guide you through your eating disorder, but like also not make it worse, you know? Maybe someone there to motivate you and stuff. Me and my husband gained a ton of weight. Well, I gained a ton of weight after getting married, after COVID, after I don't know, being in a little depressive state. There was a point where like I just didn't love myself anymore. I couldn't look in the mirror and feel sexy or feel wanted or I don't know, just feel desired or I didn't even feel good in my clothes. And I can't imagine having someone next to you while you're already feeling these things and like throwing more trash to you. How do you even get out of that, you know? Like that's so hard. It's like you're having to work double. Like you're having to put in double the work to even try to make a change. Like I don't know. I was watching the 600-pound life. I was watching one of the episodes right now, and it's someone that's like trying to lose weight for her daughter, but her husband married her because she was like a confident fat person. So this guy, and okay, before she got pregnant, she was a confident fat person. She was like maybe like 300 pounds. She was really confident in her bikinis. People looked up to her because She would always had her hair done, her makeup done. She was always dressed nice. She always had her nails done. But then and then that's how she met her husband, because her husband wanted, this was his fetish. And that's how he makes it seem, like he had a fetish towards fat people, and skinny people disgusted him. So they end up getting married. She has a kid, and now her kid is like, what, maybe 12, 13 years old, maybe, I don't know. And now she's like 600 pounds, and now the weight is affecting her quality of life and what she's being able to give to her daughter. And now she's like scared that she might have a stroke or something because of her weight. And she's really sad that her daughter she might not be able to be in her daughter's life for the rest of her life. So now she's trying to like make a change and go to Dr. I forgot his name, like Dr. N. And she wants the weight loss surgery, right? And at first, her husband was like supportive, being like, of course, I support you. But now that he sees her taking initiative, he's like not supportive of all at all. He's like asking her why she's doing this. He's telling her that if she's going to be skinny, that he's going to be like disgusted by her, like she's going to be unattractive, and that he doesn't know how his marriage is going to work once she's skinny. And he just starts like name calling her stuff, just making her life much more difficult than it already is. Because at 600 pounds, even at my weight, I already knew I had an addiction to sugar and carbs. Imagine whenever you're 600 pounds and you're eating like 3,000 calories a day or even more. But she did not give up. She had to lose 30 pounds by herself before she could even get the surgery, because he wants to make sure that you're changing your eating habits. So she lost the weight. She lost 28 pounds, and then she got her surgery. And then he went to go pick her up from the hospital. She was discharged 3 days after her surgery, and her husband went to go pick her up. And right away, he tells her, like, I'm not going to be doing this diet with you. Like, I don't want to suffer. I don't want to change my eating habits just because you have to change yours. And while she's in the car, he goes to, I'm guessing, one of their favorite like fast food places, and orders a bunch of food for himself, puts it all out, starts asking her if she wants any French fries. And then once she denies the food, he starts going like, oh my gosh, this is so good, like so delicious. And then he goes, here, hold my burger. And I'm like, what? I don't know. It's so crazy. And then at this point, she's staying strong. She's being strong. They're getting into arguments now while she's doing her diet. He's telling her that her food is disgusting, that he's never liked her food. He's just like being really degrading towards her and like being mentally abusive towards her while she's already going through like this big change. Like, mind you, I did 30 days of a no sugar, no alcohol, no cokes, no dairy, no gluten, no, I don't know. I did this diet. It was really restrictive for 30 days. And it was the hardest thing. My cravings were so high. Again, I couldn't have pictured myself like if somebody was like throwing food in my face, which I feel like that only made her stronger, because, well, we'll get to the end later, but I feel like it only made her stronger. And she kept going. She ended up losing like 200 pounds in a year. And then after that, she like plateaued. And then she went back to Dr. Ann, and she told him that she was drinking one Diet Coke a week. And he was like, well, that's the thing. She wasn't just having like a little Diet Coke. She was like getting her big gulp Diet Coke. So it was like enlarging her stomach, and she got in trouble, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she's now down to 350 pounds, and she's like, I want to keep going. Like, I want to keep losing this weight. Like, the fight is not over yet. Like, she wants to be 200 pounds. And now I don't know what's changing, but she's like, I don't know when I'm going to know when it's time to leave him. She's like, how do you know when it's time to leave someone that's just being negative with you all the time? And she's like, I don't know when I'm going to get there. She's like, but I'll know when I get there. And I was just like, wow. Like, not only are you losing the weight, you're becoming healthier for your kid, you're doing more stuff for your kid, and then now you're about to drop this bummy ass dude that has this fetish and doesn't care that you guys have had this long relationship, you guys have had a kid together, you guys have been through ups and downs. If you're skinny, he's not going to want you anymore. The show ended on that last episode where she talks about like, I don't know when, but you know, like I'll figure out when I'm going to leave him. So we don't know if she left him or not. I hope that she did. I hope that she did, because men like that, they're just baggage. Just why have someone like that in your life constantly degrading you? You know, I just couldn't. I could not live with someone like that. I'm so happy that my husband has always been supportive of everything that I've ever done. And especially now that I've been trying to lose this weight, it's been really hard. And he's been super supportive and he's been keeping me accountable. But he's also understood, like, once I was done with those 30 days, I'm actually starting a new diet. And I took a week off of just like eating some carbs. And it's not that I'm going crazy. Well, I did for the weekend, but you know, today I ate an avocado toast, which I'm not supposed to have toast, but I'm like, it's healthy. I'm going to do it. Take this week off, kind of enjoy some food, and then go back to eating no grains for another 6 weeks. But yeah, diets are hard. Weight loss is hard. And if you don't have somebody motivating you, it's even harder. So I feel like find someone that truly loves you for who you are, no matter if you gain or lose weight. Find someone that doesn't call you out of your name, doesn't abuse you physically or mentally, and someone that's just supportive and someone that just loves you and always wants the best for you, and vice versa. I feel like that's what you would want to do for somebody that you love, is to always be there for them and to support them in every way that you can. That last one made me really sad. But anyways, that was the end of this podcast. Let me know if you guys have any relationship questions. Of course, give my best advice. Drop them down at the Secret Diaries MS podcast official Instagram, and go follow me there if you haven't. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's questions. I have some more lined up, so I cannot wait to share them with you guys. I'm going to go back and see if we have any updates on all of those questions that we just answered, because I'm so curious if there are any updates. But okay, love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.